what does Las Vegas Republicans, what do the state of Republicans in the state of Nevada have to do to make sure that we are heard? And welcome back to Nevada Today. I'm your host, Patrick Casale, and now I'm joined by Cindy Lake. She's running for County Commission in District G. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Pat.
It's important that we have people not only statewide but locally. Your job and your role is so important, so vital. People don't realize you were the past Clark County Republican Party chairman lady, and probably the most successful that I've remembered, because in the 8 years or 6 years you've been gone, it's been downhill. We're starting to turn it around. I mean, we need success. We need a winner like yourself. Tell us what your plans are and how important your role is.
Thank you so much. Yes, you're right. Most people don't realize how important the Clark County Commission is and what they do with a $7 billion budget, as large as the state of Nevada's budget almost, and also as large or larger than 6 of 8 California counties. So
Wow.
We are being Californicated, very much so, even at the county level. It's such an important job. And yes, we've dropped the ball. 7 Democrats on the board for the past decade.
It almost seems like that it should be 4-3 either way automatically, in my opinion. But 7-0, and people wonder why we're always over budget. We always want to raise taxes. We're overspending. It's unbelievable.
It is.
We've got to get back in action. Besides yourself, any other good Republicans running that could win?
We have Tish Black in F, and we have Tricia Marsh in E. So my district just so happens to be the least disparity between Republicans and Democrats. There's only 4,000 difference in registration. Of course, the Dems are a little bit more, but we're very close. And in my race of 2014, I came within 1% of unseating a Democrat incumbent career politician.
If you win, let's say the other 2 gals were to lose, how important would it be? What can you do with the 6-to-1 ratio, for example?
Well, I'm used to being the underdog. As you said, I'm the former chairwoman of the party, and I think we've brought a lot of people around to seeing things that are important, fiscal responsibility. A lot of our party members didn't think that was as important as they do now. So I think education is important, educating the other members. I've seen some other board members actually vote responsibly occasionally. So what I hope to bring to that board is fiscal responsibility and show them how important it is to spend taxpayer money responsibly.
And let's talk about a great sweep. All 3 of you win. What would that do, and what can the constituents of Clark County expect?
Oh, they can expect so much more, even though we'd still be in the minority. As I said, I've watched a few different members vote fiscally responsibly, so I think we could convince them to be more responsible and to see things our way.
And you are a hard worker. I guess you've been knocking on doors one or 2 days a week, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing a lot more than that. So
Please.
We're working very hard, and we are knocking doors. We're making phone calls. We're contacting constituents in District G, and having a lot of success. And we have very passionate volunteers. And we welcome more volunteers and more donations. We're grassroots, so that means we do the work. We're working 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And
So
that's what it takes to win.
If somebody wants to donate and wants to learn more about you, how could they find out more information?
They can go to my website, cindylake.net, call me directly, 702-497-0671. Google me. I'm proud of my record.
Well, I know a little bit about your record, and I'll tell you what, being a part of the Clark County Republican Party Central Committee has been a task, to say the very least. When you left several years ago, there was money in the coffers. We were riding high. Things were working. Since then, we bottomed out, and now we're rebounding. We're trying to turn it around. We have a good board. We have a good chairman, et cetera. But, I mean, you've been a winner for a long time, and we need winners in Clark County. You have so much going for you, energy, passion. I mean, we need a change. We need you. So, what are some of the things what are some of your plans? What are you earmarking? What are some of the targets that you're going after?
Well, what I'm hearing in the community, really, and seeing in the community, being out in the community and talking to people, homelessness is exploding.
Oh,
it's an exploding problem, and so I want to address that first and foremost out of the gate. I have some really great ideas about how to handle the problem, but we have to address the causes of the problem too, of course, and there are many and varied causes of the problem, but one of the things we can do better is to get all the agencies that are homeless specific talking to each other, communicating with each other. That doesn't even happen now. So most people would be surprised to know that the Catholic Charities doesn't talk to Safe Nest and Safe House, et cetera, et cetera.
Really?
The right hand does not know what the left hand is doing. I don't think there should be one homeless veteran on the street, ever. I feel that the federal government shares some of that responsibility, having created the veteran in the first place, and they owe them more. And the veterans that are on the streets need more help and deserve more help. As I said, there should not be one homeless veteran in Clark County. So I have ideas for that too.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know what's interesting? One of the big things about homelessness, and it hits me in the heart, is the homeless youth in Clark County, which is unbelievable. It's a very large amount of kids are homeless for various reasons. Broken families, gambling, drugs, whatever. These kids are still trying to make it. They're going to college or going to high school or they're going to grammar school. What can we do to help them? And how can we help you to help them?
Well, thank you for asking that. I'm actually working with a group of people who want to sponsor those children and are planning a major event. So you're absolutely right. There should not be one homeless child. There shouldn't be one homeless person on the street, let's face it. Some of them want to be homeless, though, and that's their choice. As long as they're not hurting anybody else and they're not doing any damage to anybody's property or committing any crimes, then I believe they should be allowed to live as they please. But if somebody's homeless because of those things that you mentioned, and also domestic violence laws in this state are so tough that a domestic violence conviction can hurt the head of household so badly, prevent them from working, prevent them from getting a job, cause drug problems, cause things to snowball. There's a snowball effect. So I want to also work with the Jim Marchands of the Assembly to address those things as well, address the causes of homelessness. But yes, you're right. No homeless children ever should be on the streets. I want to train them, employ them, educate them, and get them to be functioning members of society and house and feed and clothe them.
You know, it's funny. All my life, I've always said charity begins at home. The United States of America always wants to help everybody else, but when we have a disaster here, nobody comes to help us. And until we get these kids off the streets, and there should never be a homeless vet. If they serve this country, and everybody who serves this country for the most part is honorable, they deserve the respect. They earned it. And we need to take care of that. That's a big deal. What are some of the other ideas that you have in areas that you want to target?
Well, I want to target the budget. I want to audit every single line of the budget by an outside independent agency. That's cliche, but it has to happen. There is too much, and we see that in the news right now with the LVCVA. And airline travel cards, for instance, I think that's the tip of the iceberg.
Rossi Rollin-Cotter, last week we had Michelle on, and he made a comment that it was up to their budget to finance the RNC convention, which was wrong. And Rossi Rollin-Cotter, in my mind, should be jailed. Anybody who makes almost $1 million a year that has to steal $50,000 worth of tickets to fly his daughter or family around is ridiculous. But you know, how about the Raider Stadium? I mean, to me, that's not really been done well. The parking situation hasn't been situated. What's your take on the Raider Stadium?
Had I been an assembly person, I would have voted no. And I was completely against it. I still am. I think if it was such a great investment, investors would be climbing all over each other, investing in that project so they could get a good return on their investment, right?
Absolutely.
Should not fall on the taxpayers of Clark County, the state of Nevada, ever. And there's a lot more to that. The bidding process is up in question, the parking. I hear sales taxes are on the table to be increased because of the infrastructure that's not there. So why would the taxpayers of Nevada, are we getting free seats, free hot dogs, or free drinks at the Raiders Stadium, or a free t-shirt? No, we're not. So I think the people who use the services, who use the facility, and as I said, if it were such a good investment, then investors would have invested, and they did not.
You know, Cindy, I go a step further. The licensing for the tickets is absurd. 20 to 25,000 minimum, up to 75,000. That money should have came back to the state of Nevada, the taxpayers. We fronted it. We front you the money. We'll put your stadium in. That money comes back to us to repay us. The Raiders are getting to keep all that money.
With interest, Pat. We should have gotten that back with interest. And each taxpayer should have gotten a refund. honestly. But yet our taxes, our sales taxes are slated to be increased because of this.
They were talking about how this is going to create jobs. Which jobs is it going to create?
Hot dog selling vendors and soda vendors and t-shirt vendors is all I'm seeing.
Minimum wage jobs.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know who are the real job creators? Small businesses, privately owned businesses, and that's who I believe deserve a break, an incentive, a tax incentive, license fees, regulations, taxes. Small businesses and privately owned businesses create all the jobs, and yet they get to pay more taxes for something like this, for the government to pick winners and losers. It's not right.
It almost makes you wonder who got paid off. I hate to say that out loud, but you got to wonder because it's ridiculous. And I don't see how that stadium is going to generate big revenue for Nevadans. You know, they're saying, well, we're going to bring in all these visitors. They're going to come to go to the games. But you know, football teams are part of the community. The Raiders cannot be a part of the community because the community can't afford to go to the Raider games.
Well, I see people going to the hockey games and we didn't have to give them anything.
Other than pay for the ticket.
That's it. And so that's how it should be. If you want to go to a game, pay for your ticket. The taxpayer should not be burdened with this. And I like that you brought up the fact that who got paid off. I think an investigation has to go into the people who voted for the stadium and see who donated to them. That's first and foremost.
Transparency.
Transparency, accountability, fiscal responsibility, also important when you're handling taxpayer money. And the average taxpayer isn't aware.
Once again, let these people out there know exactly how to reach you if they want to help. We need to get her elected along with Jim Marchant. If you want the state to become fiscally responsible, you got to vote fiscally responsible. Please tell them.
Right, we have to start at the county. We have to start at the local level. My name is Cindy Lake. My website is cindylake.net. And you can call me directly, 702-497-0671, and I encourage you to Google me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much, Pat.
Thank you again for watching. My name is Patrick Casal. This is Nevada Today. Catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and everywhere else you can find us, because we're there. We're going to become very important. We'll be very vital to you. Thank you.